So I was hitting my head on that 5,000 a month ceiling for so long, and it was so frustrating because I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I was doing wrong to stop me getting to 10,000 a month. But now, since I understand what it takes, I've not dropped below that 10,000 a month mark in about 3 years. The truth is, it's not about providing a 10,000 a month service, right? It's about becoming a 10,000 a month kind of person. So it's not about the service and the business, it's more about the habits that you have. So I spent a bit of time journaling the other day, and I wrote down 5 individual habits that took me from 5,000 a month to 50,000 a month, and I'm going to share them here today. So by the end of this video, you're going to know what to change, and there's a bonus number 6 about how to make more money per client at the end. So habit number 1 is underpricing yourself because of a little bit of imposter syndrome. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is compete, and especially when we're new, we're going to look at the market and we're going to think we're pretty young here, and this is what some people are doing, so I'm going to try and undercut people. Actually, there's a bit of a habit that's keeping you stuck because it's all about the perceived value. You're effectively signaling to your clients that you've got a lower rate, which means you're a lower value, which means your skill isn't as good. So what you need to understand is clients don't want cheap, they want confidence. So a little trick you can think about is if you find that too many of your clients are paying in full, then it's a sign that things are a little bit too cheap. The goal should be to have most of your clients have a bit of a split pay. So they fund an initial deposit and then they fund the final bit on completion. That way it feels reassuringly expensive, right? So they want to invest a little bit more. Habit number 2 is procrastinating on the high impact work. Now we all procrastinate, right? I still do it too, it's natural. No one is 100% motivated from the time they wake up to the time they hit the pillow. The importance is the type of work you're doing when you are in the zone. So what you'll find is those results are actually in the type of work that you're typically probably avoiding. So try and start your day with the most impactful stuff. So whether that's reaching out to potential new clients, creating content that's going to give you a bit of leverage to get more eyes on you. Instead, what a lot of you are doing is working in the business and not on the business. So you don't want to fill your days by just being busy for the sake of it, right? Because thinking isn't doing. Admin and fulfillment aren't going to help you scale. So sit down and track all these little things you do for the week and see where you're really spending your time. Habit number 3 is just trading your time for money, right? I have this debate all the time between hourly and fixed price work. Hourly work is good when you're just getting started, but ultimately it penalizes you for being effective. Something you probably heard me talk about before is that you'll really struggle to find a client that's going to pay you $500 per hour, but it's much easier to find a client that's going to pay you $500 per project, which might only take you an hour. So switch over to value-based pricing instead. Productize what you offer and streamline everything into a single service. That way you'll find it much easier to scale. Now, bad habit number 4 was a bit of a game changer for me, right? And that was about targeting clients who had smaller problems. It's a big no-no. And ultimately it all comes down to supply and demand, a bit of mathematics, right? The smaller the problem you solve, the smaller value is put on top of it, which means the less you can charge. So people who are after quick fixes and hobby projects are never gonna have a big enough budget. So you need to start targeting bigger problems, right? Solving solutions for these people who have bigger stakes in the companies. So it could be that you work with companies that are pre-funding, right? People are making millions doing pitch deck designs because these pitch decks are so important when it comes to raising funds. You've got one chance and that's it. So people are willing to pay big bucks for that. And bad habit number 5 is not showing the ROI on what you do. Truth is, clients aren't bothered about how passionate you are or how cool you think your work is, right? They just want to know about the results. And the metrics and the data and everything that you do is crucial, right? So don't just complete your projects, send them off, and then come to me and say you don't really understand and you don't really know what data these are getting. It's your job to follow up on these clients, ask for the results, talk about performance. If clients know that working with you over somebody else is going to effectively make them more money, they'll be throwing cash your way. Now, a bit of a bonus one. This is kind of bad habit number 6, and it's not implementing a project pay path. So many of you will probably be treating your projects as a one and done kind of thing, right? Maybe you do a website for someone, maybe you do a logo for someone, maybe you do a copywriting bit of email for someone, and then that's it. It basically means you're missing out on a lot of long-term income instead. What you need to understand is there's going to be loads of different pains that your client is going to have as they start to scale. And what you need to do is start to solve and provide a solution for each of these pains as they grow and as they get bigger. So the strategy is to start with kind of lower barrier stuff, right? So it might be audits, it might be design changes, it might be this, it might be that. And then the goal should always be to upsell into bigger projects, right? Solve harder things. So it might be that you start off with a bit of a website audit, they then understand how valuable you are, so you end up doing a full website design. And then after that, what do they need? They might need maintenance, they might need SEO, they might need all this, right? So it goes from a $100 project to a $20,000 project. So you need to understand that the whole 10,000 a month mark isn't just about working harder, right? It's about building these habits and working smarter. So drop a save on this video, do whatever you need to do, and I'll see you on the next one.